USA Storm Watch Live, April the 9th, 2021, 6:16. We're tracking a very intense, several different complexes of storms here, multiple mesoscale convective systems here. We're actually keeping a very close eye on here. I'm going to try and see what the surface analysis is here, but the latest surface analysis here, you got the lead surface flow still out in Oklahoma there, and you have obviously two different mesoscale. You got two different cold fronts. You got one in Louisiana, and then you got another out there in North
yeah,
Texas and Oklahoma.
Hey, Isaac.
Yeah.
It's really kicking her into gear now.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're probably referring to this
Schwartz, the storm that Severe warned. It's for the warning. The county that goes for Richland and West Carroll parishes. But if you look at that storm on the reflectivity, we'll see a very tight couplet on radar right now.
Yeah, it's fairly tight. On your Fairbanks. Oh yeah, I think I just got that new scan. If that's what you were referring to. Oh
that's
yeah, definitely.
That's still tight. That's got a warning on it.
Yeah. I think that'll probably end up going tornado warned here any minute if that. That's very likely here. We'll see what the National Weather Service does with that. But just taking a broad look at this complex of storms that we're seeing here over East Texas into Louisiana and Arkansas, we have a few severe warnings in Mississippi as well. Here's something: baseball or not baseball. That's 275. This would be almost tennis ball sized hail here, reported in Newton County, Mississippi, here by the public. So we'll see if we do have actual confirmation there by spotters and the Weather Service here. But yes, according to the Weather Service, this cell has potential for 2-inch hail. I think a lot of these cells are, you got some really intense updrafts with all these, and you got really steep lapse rates. Just overall, you can see just over the whole area, just it doesn't matter where you are. Just further aloft, that's what we're seeing. When you get really intense wind shear, on a regional scale like what we've been seeing, and then you're coupling this in with really steep lapse rates, and near the ground you're getting all that inflow and just everything converging over the right environment here. You're seeing some really intense updrafts with these cells, and they have been advising for a while that we could see gigantic hail at times with some of these. We've been talking baseballs locally, softballs with some of these cells here. I'm going to keep a close eye on. I'm going to try and get them. I've been in a windowed mode here.
I'm going to share my radar
for a
too.
bit here.
Okay.
I'm going to open another Chrome window.
You back to yours.
New scan is out and still very tight rotation.
Oh yeah.
Rain wrapped, but it's tight rotation.
Oh yeah, it's been really tightening up.
Folks, you got to take this storms very seriously.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the surface analysis here. What I'm seeing here.
Shoot! Hey, Isaac.
Yeah.
Go up further aloft.
Yeah,
it's tighter aloft.
Oh yeah, the upper air maps. I'm gonna you go through the Storm Prediction Center. Just overview there. You can see all those watches we have in effect from Oklahoma and Texas all the way into Alabama now. We also got a severe thunderstorm watch in sections of Virginia as well. Also, I think a little bit of North Carolina. But yeah, I'll show you the 850 map. on the upper air, because this is where I think it gets very strong, very intense here. This would be the 12Z here, but yeah, definitely look at how quickly the heights change over here. I would be interested in seeing some of the new data. Oh yeah, you probably get more of that on here too. Trying to see what if you get.
Wondering, hey Isaac, I'm wondering if I should go ahead and leave and go target that storm coming into the western edges of Mississippi, the one that has the tight rotation.
Yeah, I mean, it does appear to be tightening up. I mean, look at what we're seeing there. I mean, I think that contour's not the 0 knot. That could be what 50 outbound right there.
There's
50 outbound against
there to have
40.
A tornado.
A what?
There's definitely enough there to have
Isaac, I'm gonna pass them along to. Yeah, I was gonna get some information out, Isaac, just in a second.
If there's not a tornado,
we already had
very tight
several reports of power poles down today,
and it's sort of streamwise as you go up with feet in the atmosphere.
Oh yeah, I mean,
sort of
further aloft there. I'm looking at the base velocity here, but I could go to 0.9 and maybe 1.5. You can see how the winds are really tighter near the surface there. Like just like put yourself right there. See how significant? Yeah, 3.5 degrees. Look how much stronger the winds are at the upper levels there per Doppler radar. You can see we got potentially winds 70 to 80 knots or even higher, probably. This is probably clutter that you're seeing here on the radar. But I mean, I would probably get a little bit closer to the ground there.
I don't know why they're giving tornado texts.
Yeah, I was going to say the National Weather Service. Yeah, they have this one here for 2-inch hail. I mean, and the possibility of course, destructive wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. And again, that tornado possible tag, that indicates, especially near the. Oh, that's. I could always 2-panel this and compare what we're seeing there at the upper levels and what we got at the ground. That also is helpful there. But yeah, this is 0.5 degrees. Look at how tighter the winds are aloft. This is where we're likely seeing, a stronger downdraft at this altitude, and then near the surface or near the base of the storm, rather. This is where we're seeing some really intense rotation there. Just see, that would probably be, I think this would be the gray color near 0, or that's neutral. Oh, there's a new scan. Look at what we're seeing there. 60 outbound against 0, and maybe 10, 20. That could be 80 knot, like easily up to 80 knot base shear with that. So I mean that couplet appears to really be intensive. Is really mature, and I mean this I could easily see tornado warning coming out of this here if that. We'll see what happens.
Oak Ridge, Louisiana.
This would be close to Oak Ridge. That's what they have that out for.
It says
I can see this whole line going tornado warning.
Well, not the entire line. Probably where there are those intense inflow signatures there. What we've been seeing on velocity. I mean, we'll probably see quite a bit of broad severe warnings, probably at times for hurricane force gusts here across. Again, like we said, Mississippi. That will likely be the case with the other complex of storms that'll track through the rest of the Mid-South here later on tonight. I wish I could zoom out a little bit more to you know, I want to keep
You want to use
tabs.
my radar?
I mean, you probably have a lot of the other. Oh yeah, I was going to say you have. You can see a broader view of what we're seeing there on JD's screen. There
Okay,
we have.
I'm heading to the storm now.
Okay, yeah, Ian.
I'm heading to that storm.
All right. Let us know how conditions are in the field when it's safe to do so. All right. So I was going to say, following with those, you can see we do have a few severe warned cells there in West Tennessee as well. I would assume we're getting quite a bit of hail reports with those. So you can just see how we're getting all that broad convection there, and you can see just overall how we got this really intense complex, all those warnings and everything that's quite rather organized there, nearing the lower Mississippi Valley. And there's another area of thunderstorms that we should definitely keep a close eye on as well. And I'm going to try and get.
Hey, I'm only 49 minutes away from that thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And that's tracking east.
All right. I'll see you. Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm going to pull up a broader view here. This is the National Weather Service radar map. This will help. I'm going to try and zoom in here, give you a broader view.
Wow,
a
that's
bigger
cool to
picture.
have.
Yeah, this is the new website. There, they have replaced the old website. I'm trying to at least zoom in a bit, not all the way. There we go. So you can see this is we got that complex out here in the and just right around Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, east of the I-35 corridor, from Tulsa down to I would presume closer to Stroud, to Seminole. I'm familiar with some of those areas. So looks like Stillwater severe warned. Another severe warning up I-44. I would assume that, I think Will Rogers Turnpike goes all the way up there, but another cell here that would be approaching, south of Shawnee, that appears to be producing probably some hail, some intense damaging wind. We got a little bit of an inflow notch with that one. I would keep a close eye on and see how that cell behaves. But I think this complex here is kind of the same one that we're going to have to be watching out for over the next several hours as well, because this complex of storms will likely bow out. We'll get some breaks along the line as it tracks into Arkansas and Louisiana. And obviously, as it tracks over Mississippi, the southern flank of that will produce probably its own mesoscale convective system and really broaden out, likely to produce hurricane force winds over much of central Mississippi. I mean, Jackson, Mississippi, and again, a lot of south central Mississippi into Alabama. I'd be definitely pretty concerned for you folks, just given the intense vertical shear profiles that I've been following with on some of the model guidance that I've been seeing. And I mean, if anything, I'm going to pull up some of the high resolution guidance here. I'm going to see how that has trended since this morning, because it is definitely on the table.
Yeah,
we'll possibly end up seeing a derecho, like a setup that kind of relates to a derecho. Not that it's classified as right now. This is not a derecho right now, of course. I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit more here. This is just the standard 1 kilometer.
Mile-an-hour winds.
Yes, Ian?
You don't always have to have a derecho to have 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, of course, you can still get definitely some significant gusts. Derecho doesn't necessarily correlate to the wind speed itself. That is one factor, of course, the gusts in there, but it's derived from distance. It's an intense windstorm. You get that really intense bowing structure with it that spans out, and it produces widespread hurricane wind damage of at least 250 miles approximately. In some cases, it may be different. It depends on what the National Weather Service officially classifies this as, at the Storm Prediction Center level. But yeah, this is some of the high-res guidance that I'm checking in with. You can see this complex of storms. This is an individual bowing segment there. We also have a complex of storms over Mississippi as well. See, we got two different rounds of storms there. And you can see the parent surface low up here in Arkansas. And you may get a little bit of a bowing structure up here, a tad bit of an outflow boundary, but you got more
just going to pass
lapse rates down here. So that's where you're likely going to end up seeing the most intense thunderstorms and probably tornadoes.
Yeah, I got some reports coming in from one report from Illinois. I was going to pass along to you, Isaac, saying water is standing water on vehicles stopped in floodwaters in Marion. So this rain is just going to cause flooding.
Stalled.
Posting that to you.
Well, yeah, well, so again, just looking at, you can definitely tell that we've been seeing, some embedded heavier rainfall with these storms. When you get downdrafts, you're likely seeing some very heavy rain at times as well. And obviously, as that lead surface low trails the Mississippi Valley, you can see that closed upper low, 540 millibars. And you get some really intense.
I'm getting some rotation again.
I was going to say, and also another concern, you can see
we get the pink color.
And when you get that trending a little bit that way, I think that broadens up the warm sector as well. You can get some low top supercells out of that, probably closer to Lake Michigan, Northern Illinois, probably here as we head into Saturday here, late morning and afternoon hours. But I definitely would keep very close attention here, see how these storms behave, see that, the Red River Valley there, these storms merge into a complex there, and you get those, you get that lead enhancement with that trough, it converges with that. You get that really intense bowing segment, really rapid height falls within there. And then, you got, near the parent surface low, it's a little bit closer there. That will, help in terms of wind shear and everything. But what we're concerned about is the structure with everything. You can see we got that really intense bowing segment. It looks like it definitely, just looking at the reflectivity, that really does hold together. So, potentially for that 250-mile span that, it's needed to classify as a derecho. But again, that's dictated by, this setup, I'm not saying that it will be a derecho, not a guarantee. I'm just saying this resembles a derecho. What we're seeing here, you can see that structure really holding together there with that bowing segment there. And I'm going to try and zoom out a little bit so I can show you guys a little better.
Well, Isaac, we got a little rotation with some of these storms again. I had a few pink markers, and I was going to show you about Oak Ridge down here. They're still giving me 2 intel and 70 miles of gust with this, but there is potentially some rotation. So these storms are starting to get a little spin to them. And it doesn't take that much when you have this environment. And I'll show it to you right quickly here. Can you see this?
I've definitely been following that. The rotation with that, it's been tightening up at times. Too. And really what we're seeing with that is some, you got those steep lapse rates. And again, you get that, that sporadic, where the updraft really gets stronger. And then you get all that super cooled air and all that mixing that you'll likely end up seeing with that. And that, sometimes you get that effective inflow that couples in, where we're seeing all that mixing in. And yes, Ian?
I'm starting to see that effective inflow working on that storm complex in the storm that we were talking about with rotation. You see them storm mergers?
Yeah, I was going to say, that complex of storms here, especially the one here in Oak Ridge that we've been following here on radar for some time. The latest scan here still does show that, the rotation's been tightening up at times. Now we're starting to get some much stronger outbound velocities with that one. I mean, if anything, we got 60, 70 or so. Oh, yeah, now it's, the real caveat with that is these storms, they can't always issue tornado warnings with something like this, because sometimes the rotation tightens up and then it gusts out where you get those strong outbound velocities that you get that little, that little spin up there where you get that inflow that couples in, but then it turns, the storm gusts out over that inflow. It's tracking too fast. So again, the environment's mostly favoring these brief spin up tornadoes that may occur with little to no warning whatsoever. So if anything, you don't have to have a tornado warning to see a tornado spin up on top of you. And that's definitely a concern that I have, following with the weather situation that we will likely end up seeing here tonight. And, that's also what happens with, a lot of these, the structure with all these storms that we may see here today as well. And again, just looking at the reflectivity features, you can see that convection that forms ahead of this Boeing segment here. This is more low-level convection here, and another Boeing segment right there. And, these will likely end up merging. You get some breaks in that area where that's an indication there where you have some, stronger updrafts that are feeding into that. But then this is where you get stronger updrafts further aloft as well. Well, I mean, you get those high-topped cells there embedded within the line, and further aloft you get some higher-topped storms within there. You get all that saturated air fed into that updraft. You get probably some instances of gigantic hail, but also you can see the strong outflow signatures with these storms here. I'm gonna try and get a broader view. I think that zoomed in too much to the Ohio Valley. I'm gonna go like more Mississippi and Alabama here, and this will translate into local time, and you can see like kind of a better view of what we've been seeing here. You can see for folks in the Jackson, Mississippi area. Obviously here, current time would be 6 or 7 p.m. I'm going to see what the new runs are saying first of all, see how this gets us a better glimpse of seeing how these storms will behave over the short term. And then you can see we do have some, we got some scattered convection here heading into the late evening hours, but then there's that complex of storms there in Arkansas. The complex of storms, obviously you got that one in Oak Ridge, that'll be tracking in the Jackson area here, 7 to 8 p.m.-ish time frame there. You can see how the convection gets more organized there heading into later tonight, but this is only the first round of storms. We got that other round coming in later in the night.
We got more to come, guys.
Yeah, you can see that Boeing, you get maybe some embedded Boeing segments within there. So likely what we're going to see is a damaging wind threat with some of these. I'm going to see what the soundings here show, but I do think that there will probably end up being a tornado threat. Of course, we've been seeing quite a bit of, I think this one we're seeing more. Looking at the storm vectors there within 3 kilometers, 2 kilometers actually, what that's showing me there. You can see, I was going to say still quite working with some directional shear with that. So I do think there will be a progressive tornado threat there, but that's only with the first round. And when you get multiple rounds of severe storms and tornadoes, that it may set people off guard. That's another reason to be concerned. And then you can see the more organized severe storms. See that intense bowing segment there. It looks like further north towards Jackson there, you can still see some individual. You can see the structure with this area of thunderstorms tracking over the lower Mississippi Valley there, towards the Jackson area. You can see, I think you can see another kind of surface low trying to form within there. When you get lower pressure that forms within there, that's a signal that, the low-level shear could also be enhanced with that as well. So, I mean, you get those breaks and you get those inflow notches and things like that. That's a sign that you may have some stronger updrafts within there as well. And to couple that in with some effective inflow, you may get tornadoes being a concern in the overnight hours as well. But again,
that's what I'm concerned about too.
And again, I'm not. I do think there's a high chance of getting hurricane force gusts with this. But whether this becomes a derecho or not, I think that it would be more likely not this far east. But you still got that wind shear to work with there. I think you still get embedded hurricane force gusts within there. So you can still see the structure with this is still like it's heading towards 5 a.m. You can see those storms east of Meridian heading into the Monroeville area after that. I mean, there's definitely a potential for severe storms heading into the early morning hours as well with that particular line. I think, you can see that Boeing segment there. I think you get much stronger outflow with these, and you can see you get that enhancement with that trough, those height falls and everything becoming a concern. You get that little itty bitty shortwave within there, and then you get some stronger height falls with that. Coupling in near there, you get much stronger wind shear there, elevated vertical wind shear, of course. That could really enhance your damaging wind potential here heading into the morning as well, potentially there. And once again, I will point out, just given the features we've been seeing, we may likely see multiple mesoscale convective systems. Well, this is part of a larger mesoscale convective system further aloft, of course, but you may get multiple mesoscale convective systems, that form closer to the ground, near the low to mid levels, setups that do resemble that, what I mean is like, where you get those Boeing segments and, just likely what we're seeing is, you get, all that turn in the atmosphere, that spin in the atmosphere, and just the overall change in wind direction and wind speed, and it's mostly wind speed shear, but I'm talking like vertical in terms of altitude. When you get significant changes with that, you're likely to see something stronger developing in terms of your severe wind potential, where you get those and you get that enhancement, you get all that sinking air and height falls, and when the tight pressure change as well. So you'll likely see again like 70 to 110 knot winds, within a few kilometers off the ground. But, sometimes you get that mixing effect where you get intense downdrafts. The stronger winds from further aloft mix in at the ground. Then you may get 70, maybe at times 80, 90. You never know. You could probably get a 100 mile per hour micro downburst in some areas. Probably that could be even more dangerous potentially. You really want to be very careful with this setup. And we'll definitely want to be paying attention to how these storms do develop over time here. And And yeah, just heading into, like I said, heading into the, I'm mostly concerned about the overnight hours and early morning hours for you folks in Mississippi and Alabama. And again, just part of a broader severe weather setup here. I'm going to open the Storm Prediction Center again just to show you what the risk is into tomorrow morning. You can see enhanced from from Oklahoma into Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, in Louisiana. That moderate risk that includes Jackson, Mississippi. And again, just from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, some of the more populated areas within there. Jackson, Mississippi, Monroe, Louisiana, Hattiesburg also in there, Meridian, and Greenville. Yeah, this is where we're likely to see that more intense Boeing structure, and especially on the southern flank of that of the Boeing segment. I think that's where you get that, those breaks on the line, and another mesoscale convective system that could end up forming there. A little bit further to your south there, what we see on the model. Sometimes you get those breaks, and again, just you may get multiple. It may be, this has happened before, where you get more than one setup that could resemble a derecho. Not necessarily multiple derechos. Like we don't know that right now because we haven't seen widespread reports of 70 hurricane force gusts over 250 mile span as of right now. That may end up changing into tonight. But again, this is just the moderate risk will reflect the potential for hurricane force gusts here tonight, and we want to be very careful. Again, if you live in a mobile home or if you live in a even if you live in a site built home, you just want to know your predetermined safe place for intense damaging winds or tornadoes. Again, small interior rooms, definitely your best bet. Even if it's just a severe thunderstorm warning, and listen to those impact statements. Those will definitely help you determine what the hazard is with these storms. If, determining from 60 mile per hour wind gusts where you may get some damage to roofs, siding, and trees, probably. And then you may get at times like where you get 80, 90, maybe some cases of 100 mile per hour wind gusts or more. If that is ever a highlighted hazard with any of these warnings, definitely the call to action would be to again take you probably want to, your best bet would be like, the wind speeds will be tornado like, maybe wind speeds that may resemble an EF0, maybe EF1 tornado. So I mean, just the wind speeds, it's not the column of air, like it's not like it's not vertically where we're getting those that column of violently rotating column of air. You're likely seeing intense outflow with like widespread EF0 to EF1 winds, and that it could be even more dangerous than a tornado because it's over a broader area. So again, you definitely, best bet would be to know your predetermined tornado safe place. Mobile homes, vehicles, cars, probably not your
Isaac,
best
I was
bet
going to say
there.
some thanks to these people too.
Okay.
I was going to say to these people also too, have a way to receive warnings. Charge up your phone, tablets, your computers, in case you would lose power, Isaac, right?
Yeah, of course. I was going to say, I'm keeping a close eye on this storm. Now it's tornado warned here for Union, Lee, and Tippah counties.
Okay, we got to go wall to wall.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, looks like we have a pretty good hook echo with that. Then we'll be tracking into the Wallerville vicinity there. Then we'll be tracking across.
All right, where is this tornado warning at?
This would be Lee, Tippah, and Union counties in Mississippi. And again, there's only one tornado warned cell. But again, it's all this surface-based convection that we're keeping very close tabs with. What I'm more worried about is not that particular tornado warning. We're
50
also
miles a gust in Cape Shadow.
I was going to say we have quite a bit of reports coming in and quite a bit to get to. So again, it's best to have your local source of getting warning information. I mean, we're seeing quite a bit of broad wind shear overall with this complex. And again, it's been tightening up at times. It's this environment that we're seeing.
Ball size hail with this tornado.
I was going to say the National Weather Service has this. I was going to say we've had few reports of penny-sized hail with this from the public, or dime size, and a report of 1.33 inch in diameter hail with that particular cell as well. And again, that still has some signs of rotation. It's been, I think, that hook echo, or no, I have the wrong radar. That's right. Kind of getting this a better glimpse from KNQA radar. You can see we probably got an intense hail core there where we're getting 65 dBz returns to the radar around there. We got another cell that might be trying to become severe as well. We'll see if it may tighten up. It doesn't really appear to be much rotation on this particular cell, but you can see we do have some maybe what could be a hail core developing with that. And again, this one looks like you got an intense hail core and also a mesocyclone where you got an intense downdraft carrying all that hail with it. But also you get look, you can see we got quite a bit of inflow to work with. Just right in here, you get that where we're seeing that rain-free base, that updraft. But yeah, gate to gate, you can see 20 or 30, at least 40 knot shear. Just what I'm looking into with that. This would be around Highway 78. Looks like we have another complex of storms here near Jackson, Tennessee, towards Union City. This would probably be along the Highway 45. The Highway 45E area from Martin down to Jackson. Also down towards Henderson and Selmer north of there. Mostly damaging winds, but you got quite a bit of hail with that as well. We've had some hail reports with that. But yeah, you can just see how we got some intense, I was going to say just 60 mile per hour gusts and hail up to quarter size being the main concern across this particular complex of storms here. But yeah, also a report of 1 inch hail from a train spotter there in Brownsville. That cell appears to have a pretty good hail core with it. I think that's the cell that they have that they've had warned for some time there. Heading into Jackson, we'll probably see some of the larger hail there, especially closer to, I think that's Keith Short and I-40. The Keith Short bypass there. Highway 45 and just I-40 near probably just Highway 45 proper there, Interstate 40 area. Trying to remember, that's Christmasville Road and Highway 412 and 70 there. This general area I would be concerned about for the probability of seeing some much larger hail, or not like at this point they have maybe. Yeah, the probability of quarter-size hail with that is definitely high, 80%. But again, maybe some instances of $50, maybe up to ping pong, locally up to ping pong ball-size hail wouldn't be surprising with that either. But they have it warned predominantly for damaging wind gusts along the leading edge and then hail locally to 1 inch in diameter. And again, we have lots to get to. And again, please be reminded that it's always good to have your local source of warning information.
He's gone.
And still this complex of storms down here and here in the Mississippi Valley there.
Any report of a tornado on the ground yet, Isaac?
With that cell in Lee County, nothing from what we're seeing at this point. No local storm reports. I'm going to check the Twitter feeds here. You know, they always have some of the spotter reports and everything with that. The Twitter feeds here coming out of Memphis. Also, I think Jackson. Would that be Shreveport or Jackson with that complex? I would be interested. So NWS Memphis or so yeah, what we're seeing there mostly just the warnings and stuff. I'm not seeing too many local storm reports. Oh yeah, that was 11 minutes ago. But yeah, I mean that rotation with this cell still appears to be pretty tight, you know. But I mean it's a little bit broader too. Than what we've seen initially, comparing it to previous scans. So, I mean, again, these will be quick spin-ups that may be, you know, there could be a challenge to issuing these tornado warnings. They may form right on top of you with little to no warning whatsoever. So that could be the real danger with that. You know, I was going to say I wouldn't really assume there's a spotter report of a tornado. And again, this is several thousand feet off the ground, what we see here on Doppler radar. Looking at the dual pol with this, I'm going to try and see if we get some earlier scans there. I'm going to download some of the extra dual pol data here. This is the vertical pulse here on radar. I mean, near Walterville, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say this is anything radar confirmed, but there was a possible debris signature in Wallerville, Mississippi. Definitely still going to see if there's any additional spotter reports coming out of that area. I mean, that could be tornado debris, it could be clutter on the radar, but probably it could be tornado debris. Nothing that is confirmed at this time. Whether or not this is still on the ground, we don't know. See, we're not really seeing too much of a significant indication of debris there, but it's very possible there's been something here on the dual pol or the correlation coefficient there, product there on radar. But this complex of storms here looks a little bit more worrisome here. See, now that was initially severe warned. It's not severe warned right now, but it looks like it's tapping into some of those steeper lapse rates. That could be developing even further upscale here. I'm going to try and get this closer to the. I was going to say, looks like we got some stronger updrafts that, again, that could easily become, again, all that saturated air with, if we get enough saturated air with that updraft, that mesocyclone, that would probably further enhance your tornado threat. And we also may have maybe a little bit of inflow, tapping into this complex as well. And that could also be a problem when it comes to maybe your tornado threat. And look at right here on the Jackson radar. We got a little bit of a gust front here. You can see these more surface-based storms here. Here we got a little bit of an outflow boundary there that will be approaching Rankin County. What that means here, you got a little bit of low-level moisture with that. So that's going to interact with these storms here. That's a sign we got some intense inflow, probably, that will really helps drive these storms upscale, one, and two, that could really help enhance your tornado potential with this particular round. So that's definitely a worrisome signature here on radar. We'll see how this pans out, and that's why I'm a little bit more worried about this particular complex of storms right here. And when you get further enhancement and lift with that, and especially near the storm base, this could really help drive your wind shear with this, especially with these particular cells that will end up tracking into the Jackson area. And then we've had some reports of well over 2-inch hail with this particular area of storms there. And we had another cell that will be tracking the Louisville, Mississippi area. I was going to say that one was probably allowed to expire. Oh, yeah, mostly for 60-mile-per-hour gusts and quarter-sized hail being a concern with that one. But definitely looking at that gust front there, outflow boundary there, that will be approaching Jackson relatively soon. We will probably end up seeing more cells develop along there. But that could definitely be worrisome there, the signature that we're seeing there on radar. You are muted, JD.
All right, talk now. I mean, anyway, mobile homes are not going to be safe tonight, are they?
Well, yeah, definitely depending on where you are. I think the threat is highest over sections of Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana. I mean, everything. It's always good to know your predetermined safe place. Again, site wall building is definitely your best bet ahead of that intense complex of storms that will likely track through the area later tonight. But also the
basement be safer, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you have a basement, that would be your best bet. But also, not too many people have basements here in the Mid-South, and especially into maybe parts of the lower Mississippi. A lot of the foundations down there are on slabs. So again, you would probably want to be in a small interior room if that's possible. Also, you want to definitely make sure that you got a permanent foundation with whatever structure you reside, your residence is and whatnot. Trying to see what other reports we got on here, but we'll see how that cell continues to behave there in northern Mississippi. But that complex of storms out and near the Louisiana-Mississippi border now, that's more concerning. You got those cells developing in northwest Mississippi there. Those might have the potential to produce some hail. You can see a little bit of a mesocyclone with that. I think it's not rotation confined to the base. It's just you got the updraft there that's wrapping around the storm, and it's carrying some saturated air and stuff with it. So we're going to keep a close eye on with that complex as well. But that's southernmost.
Are we going to see any more watches later?
Well, yeah. With ahead of that other complex of storms out in Oklahoma and such now, that's probably what more worries me. But again,
me too. I have to agree the same way.
And again, we're going to see what happens with more of a regional scale. I'm not too worried about the individual warnings. The environment. I'm really worried about how the environment will likely end up changing over a short period of time, especially over these areas in the South. The environment will change very rapidly, and it could be very dangerous, this setup here later on. So we're going to really pay very close attention to these storms here. New local storm report. I don't know how recent this is. 2310 UTC. Yeah, I was going to say we've had some reports of hail upwards of around tennis ball, maybe some instances of baseball-sized hail with some of these cells. Some of these storms have had the history of producing that, and this is per the public. And again, I think hail, I think pretty much any hazard of severe storms that you get. I mean, there is that possibility with that complex of storms, those intense Boeing segments over, again, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. You'll probably see some really intense vertical shear profiles, but I think you'll see a pretty good increase in low level shear as well. And I think we're still seeing it. It doesn't really matter what the directional. We're seeing mostly unidirectional shear profiles here with this setup here, but I think you get that inflow that mix that couples in, and you may get. Again, the much stronger winds from further aloft mix it down. You couple that in with the inflow that you may see with this. You may get a spin up stronger tornado as well. I mean, the probability of seeing like several tornadoes. I mean, is at least 10% relevant to 25 miles of any given location. Within that moderate risk area. I think they've expanded the 10% area well into just to account for the uncertainty. The spin up tornadoes, but I think there is that potential for some stronger tornadoes, maybe an EF2 plus tornado with that round of storms tonight. And again,
somebody sent a message here.
Yeah. I was going to say, Keith has some insight for us. And again, we've been keeping tabs with some of those warnings here. I'm going to try and retrieve the link, and I'll share it with you.
Is Keith a forecaster?
Well, give me a moment.
All right, somebody's back on with us.
Ian, how are things going in the field?
They're going all right.
All right.
I didn't have any cell phone reception up there.
Okay, gotcha. I'm going to try and share to some of our partner groups. If you give me some time here.
Look here, Ian. Tornado tech.
I'm going to share to some of our partner groups. So, especially for areas requesting coverage, for those that might be chasing, just asking for, seeing how these storms are behaving, and
Marble Hill has. All right, we got a report of in Marble Hill, Missouri, Boulder County, Missouri, had a report of a barn blown over.
Oh, okay, that was. That's really intense here. I'm gonna go ahead and share. Just give me a moment.
We only have that one tornado one, and did you actually have any did you see the tornado in?
No.
Okay.
Well, again, he would probably be west of Jackson. How are things looking, in your point of view?
Wooded area.
A what?
It's in a wooded area, and I'm not going to be able to see anything.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Can't you see like any distant storms? They're probably not high tops, so it would be probably harder to see, of course. But
they're high tops. Oh, those are high tops. High tops. Oh, those are high tops.
So, like, can you see like the distance
can you see
up,
like
maybe if you're heading west? Some.
I'm heading back towards Jackson,
Oh, so you're heading east now. Okay.
but there is some thunderstorms out to the west of Jackson.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But they're only moving south to north.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're having a. Did you see? I think we got a outflow boundary that is approaching Jackson now. You can see that a little bit of a gust front on reflectivity there approaching Rankin County, tracking west. You may see some additional cells develop with that, but that could really enhance your low-level shear potentially, and really help enhance those updrafts with these storms too. So that could be a worrisome signature there where you get that merging, and that's probably where you may get something bowing out too, where
I think, if anything,
with the northern
the
flank.
stuff that's coming towards Jackson is going to bow out.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, but nevertheless, the potential's there for really intense damaging winds in these areas. So again, for that gust front there, we're keeping a close eye on there. You may get some extra additional storms that try to develop out there. It could be a real problem for some of those other vicinities out there. Just with all the organized severe storms and everything, we'll keep a very close eye on things.
Hold on a second. Somebody popped on here.
There's a supercell. The
Pete,
one that's
can you hear
tracking
us?
south to north? Yeah. The one that's tracking south to north, that's a supercell. That's a supercell that's meeting up with the segment.
check 1 2.
So yeah, we've been keeping a very close eye on this complex of storms across the Louisiana-Mississippi border. That really, that's really showing signs. We also got a gust front that will be approaching that particular area. I think we're seeing quite a bit of convective. I was going to say very healthy updrafts with these, and some really intense shear. Nevertheless, it's been tightening up at times, but I think this is going to be tracking into the Jackson area here within the next hour, like probably a little under an hour too. We'll start being impacted by some thunderstorms and possibly severe storms into the Jackson area, which concerns me quite a bit.
Hey Isaac, you hear me, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right, good.
Well, thanks. Looking at your vantage point.
So I just wanted to let you know I was out in the field today, in Springfield, Missouri today, and I was actually chasing on the way home, and we really didn't see nothing much except a bunch of wrecks, but we got past the first round, but the second round is coming.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can see that round of storms there in northern Oklahoma, parts of extreme southeast Kansas there. That'll probably be close to your vicinity fairly soon. And again, I'm particularly concerned for that complex of storms that'll be approaching I-55 fairly soon as well.
I'm already seeing the thunderstorm tops coming into Texas. Thunderstorm tops.
Okay. We've had Keith on there. I was going to say there is actually a tornado warning for Lee, Pontotoc, and Union counties. That cell is producing. We got a little bit of a hook and an inflow signature with that. It's coupling in, and then we have an area where there could be some tight rotation there. 40 against maybe 10 or so. That's about 40 knot shear with that potentially. So I mean, something could easily spin up with that one, probably. So yeah, Keith, I understand that round of storms over Missouri. We've been getting some local storm reports out of that one. We've had some severe reports over southeast Missouri, including parts of the Boot Heel. And there was one local storm report of a outbuilding that was blown over. I think it was a barn or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the local storm report information here, see if I can get a little bit of a better vantage point over a broader scale, because it's really helpful to pass along these storm report data here. And again, this is up to this point, not accounting for what we will ultimately be seeing later on. Lots of reports of tennis ball, a golf ball, a tennis ball hail. Some instances where there could have been some baseball hail as well. Quite a bit of hail reports for just scrolling through what we're seeing. Some of the hail there with some of those cells looks like this was in Alabama earlier, where we had some severe convection tracking through there. Some reports that it completely covered some of the decks there. And a lot of 1-inch hail reports. And yeah, another report of 2-inch hail coming out of Oklahoma. That'll be Minco area. What else do I got? All right, yeah, we had another report of baseball hail out of Grady County, Oklahoma, too. That cell has been tracking over an environment where there's plenty of, very steep lapse rates and everything. Just the complex overall. That's what we've been seeing. And then, yeah, we've had reports of hail at times, instances of hail upwards of baseball size at times, and another one over Rusk County, Texas, and Henderson area. And then we've had plenty of damage reports, trees down. Yeah, quite a bit of reports of trees blown down. A larger tree blown down, blocking traffic in Louisville, Arkansas. More reports of trees blown down. That's mostly trees blown down, not just tree branches, but entire trees being uprooted, power lines blown down, carports overturned, large trees blown down again here, Union County, Arkansas. The vehicle ran into the tree, but no injury. Wow. Power pole damaged. This is on the national scale. I want to kind of determine, the instances of wind damage that we've been seeing and what could compare to, the storms that we'll inevitably see. But this could be on a much worse scale at times, not to scare anyone, but outflow from some of these thunderstorms. We've been seeing large trees blown down, and I mean, you drive into that stuff, you'll get injured, probably killed, if you're not careful. And I mean, more reports of downburst, and I was going to say, I don't think we got any other measured wind speed indications from anemometers or observation equipment, but we've had some reports of 60 to at times 70 mile per hour gusts throughout the day, especially with that complex there over southern Arkansas now, and I think northern Louisiana, parts of Mississippi. We're probably going to start seeing that intense destructive wind being a concern. But I think that complex here later tonight will be even more particularly concerning. All right, and again, we'll keep tabs with all the warning information, and we'll probably kind of move on to. We're not necessarily in a higher priority feed, so we're probably going to jump back on later when it's more relevant. But yes, we've had. Okay, yeah, severe thunderstorm watch. Still a concern there. JD, do you have any other information to pass along? I'm going to say Ian's probably getting a better glimpse of those storm tops.
Isaac, anything different?
Yeah, I've been looking over some of the storm report information here. Obviously received up to now. Obviously no confirmed reports of tornadoes today so far, actually. Interesting.
Well, I just stepped out of my studio. It's kind of thundering around here right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just checking some of the Twitter feeds and everything around there.
It's back up to 84 right now.
Oh, okay. The temperature. Yeah, we got quite a bit of energy. And how are the winds doing at the surface?
And how the winds are doing. Watch back on. Take a time. And what do you think when we see another watch being issued? Anything different? Yeah, Isaac?
I believe with that complex of storms, we'll likely see another watch probably be issued closer to midnight. We'll see what the high-res trend, the mesoscale trends are with that. But we're still working with quite a bit of wind shear, just on a more regional scale. So
yeah,
it could.
Tornado warning continues to about 7:45. Golf ball size hail. That's the biggest concern with this tornado warning. And
Yeah, right.
Here's what it looks like, Isaac.
All right. Yeah, I was going to say that the echo tops with that. I mean,
I can see we have it.
I mean, definitely developing a pretty good updraft. That cell there. I mean, still some broad shear. I think it's been tightening up at times still, and I think that tornado threat is definitely still there with what we've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going to try and follow this on my
I'm
radar scope. I was going to say that, that complex of storms. I mean, you got that southern edge of convection there that's kind of broadened out. You may get two different areas, several different rounds of storms that occur in a short period of time, like training severe storms that may produce repeated instances of damaging winds and hail, which could be even more dangerous a concern, especially heading into
I'm just getting some more information here for Southern Illinois. Chad Michael Miller post on here from Illinois tonight. Wind gusts could be up to 40 to 60 miles an hour with this overnight damaging wind coming in with this low pressure system.
Yeah, potentially.
And that's enough to bring trees down too. So Illinois needs to be aware too.
Yeah, sure. A lot of definitely closer to the parent surface low, by all means. That's where you'll likely see. That's where you'll definitely likely see still quite a bit of wind shear. Still quite a bit of low-level shear. So I mean, some you may get some low-top supercells that may produce damaging winds and maybe isolated tornadoes, especially further north as well.
All right, new severe thunderstorm warning for Illinois, Isaac.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be.
Tag me in so we could.
Yeah, that would be Randolph.
What county is that?
I think that's Randolph.
Let me add Illinois Storm Watch in there, okay?
Okay, yeah.
That way, tag me in so I could talk that warning out there, buddy. All right, we got a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Washington County, Central Illinois, South Central Randolph County, and South Central Illinois, South Central St. Clair County to 8:15. At 7:25, a severe thunderstorm located near Sparta, moving northeast around 15 miles an hour. What to expect? 60 miles of wind gusts and quarter-size hail from the public, Isaac. So if you live in Sparta or Mascoutah, Collinsville, this storm is capable, and if it holds together, this storm will be tracking into it's going different ways. So it should go into Belleville if it's holding together, and then go.
Yeah, probably just east of Belleville.
It continues that way, but
that would probably be towards the Mascoutah area. Mostly south of I-64. It's tracking in the far eastern part of Metro East, the Metro East area in Illinois. But still, again, if it does hold together, I think the potential is still there for 60-mile-per-hour gusts and embedded hail a quarter size. If that updraft does hold together, you get all that saturated air within there.
Okay, so that's the only one we got for Illinois, so definitely there's some gusty winds with that. So let's go back to still we got that tornado warning. And it's still showing me the tornado warning, Isaac, is capable of producing up to 2-inch hail with this. So Blue Springs, you're in there. Sherman, you're in it. And the storm is still capable of producing some pretty tight road.
So, I mean, showers and thunderstorms, you got some stronger wind gusts further aloft. I mean, winds in excess of 35 to at times 45 miles per hour have been indicated with that line of storms there, particularly around Illinois Route 13, maybe give or take a couple miles further south. I think that's where you you may get at some isolated instances of gusts that approach 60 mile per hour or so. But again, where you get those stronger downdrafts, you get those higher reflectivity values. That's where you may get those stronger gusts, like near 45-ish, maybe a bit higher. Some of those wind gusts, like particularly this, where you get those higher reflectivity values, there could be some hail in there. I mean, that's where you're getting those stronger winds from a lot mixing down at the surface. So that could always be concerning too.
Yeah, and I think that's where the biggest. Yeah, that's where we're getting some strongest large hail's been. We've been having the biggest hail I've been seeing today is mainly been up to the hail the size of quarters, and I've been seeing 2.5 inches of hail today. That's still enough to break windows, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
And it's been thundering around here at my area. So, what about your area? Has it been thundering there?
We don't have any showers and storms over my vicinity, so we're north of all this.
That's good. I mean,
yeah, but we may have some a few stronger cells tomorrow. We'll keep a close eye on things.
okay. So, any new reports yet?
Nothing that I got yet. We'll see.
This is going to be a long night, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. So another cell that they're monitoring in parts of the eastern parts of the Metroplex, that particular area of storms looks to be producing, that particular complex of storms in East Texas. You got that one warning there in the eastern parts of the Texas. They have that one for $half size hail and gusts up to 60. I was going to say that one you got. I'm going to see what the radar feature is with that particular cell there. But yeah, that particular cell there and down towards Italy, Cedar Hill, southeast part of Dallas towards Mesquite. You definitely got some intense outflow with that, and then definitely a little bit of a broader hail core with that from Hutchins down to Wilmer. I think that would be along I-45.
And do you see anything quite yet?
You see it?
What is it?
Those storms.
Yeah, I see that. Wow.
They're going up.
Well,
fast.
so
They're going up fast. Also, that line in Oklahoma right now.
that was thunder. Mm-hmm.
That line in Oklahoma right now. I'm already starting to see the makings of that line. That's going to produce the wind tonight. What's the wind?
Yeah, if you just heard from my microphone, it's thundering here in McLeansboro, Ian.
Mm-hmm. It's got real impactful damage.
What is it? When you were off earlier, we had a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of for Randolph County and Washington County, Illinois.
Yeah. Where is my location?
And that's just for some gusty winds. Isaac, did you see anything quite yet? Yeah.
That particular complex of storms down in Mississippi looks like the you're getting still quite a bit of stable outflow returns. It looks like that gust front that we've been seeing. We just had another cell develop there along that. Looks like that could be producing some large hail at this point in time as
I'm
well.
not far from it.
Yeah, I was going to say you're probably intercepting that the storms that have developed along that outflow boundary. Some of these cells could be producing. You don't got a good hail core on reflectivity, but you may have some instances where there could be like hail upwards of an inch in diameter with some of these cells. We'll see how they track. These cells have been really developing very quickly here, and I mean they went from that gust front passed through and probably a little bit of cumulus, but now it went from that just a few scans. Now they have it severe warned in Scott County and Duleek County, not far from where you are in Rankin County. You will probably be passing by the KDJX or KDGX radar along Interstate 20 here, and again that cell is rapidly developed. Now it's producing hail upwards of an inch in diameter. That gust front, I'm interested in seeing how it interacts with that that complex there in east, into western parts of Mississippi and near the border. And again, the southernmost cell could be severe warned as well. Looks like this one has a higher probability of severe hail, but again, we'll see if it has more of an intense downdraft that carries that hail with it. If it sinks down quicker, I'm going to look at the storm attributes. Yeah, they have it severe warned right now. They just issued the warning here. Rankin, Smith, and Scott counties now severe warned for 60-mile-per-hour gusts and half-dollar-sized hail.
My weather radar went off for that one.
Yeah, Pelahatchie and Morton, Mississippi.
7:37 p.m. in daylight time, a severe thunderstorm was located over Cato, or 10 miles north of Mendenhall.
You hear it?
Yeah, I hear it.
Hazard, 60 miles per hour wind gusts and half-dollar-size hail. Source, radar indicated. Impact, hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. This severe thunderstorm will be near Pelahatchie around 8:10 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Morton around 8:25 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Other locations impacted by the severe thunderstorm include Polkville and Puckett. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building.
Yeah, see what the National Weather Service is saying on the radio if you can. You're trying to get a better glimpse of.
Hey, was that a warning or not?
Yeah, now they have another warning further downstream as well. Yeah, they have 3 separate warnings just right around there. Ahead of that outflow boundary, that gust front, you got some storms developing right off of there. It is.
Was that a tornado warning or severe?
It was severe thunderstorm. You see those storms east of Jackson now. Those have rapidly developed there along that gust front, and now we're kicking in with those steeper lapse rates. You get that saturated air with all that forcing that we're seeing with that. That really gets with those cells. Now we're potentially seeing at least quite a bit of 1 inch in diameter hail concerns with that, and you can see those. You got some more intense downdrafts with those particular cells there than what we're seeing in. They have a broader severe warning area now. It looks like you can see, on the northern edge of that. So, Ian, how are things looking for you? I know you had your camera on and such. That particular complex of storms looks like you may have a higher damaging wind threat on it now.
Have another thunderstorm developing right over the top of Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh yeah, you can definitely see it now. It might, yeah, that one's growing upscale. It looks like. I mean, in a short span of time, that could produce some severe hail probably as well. It's in that environment. You know. Oh yeah, looking to your south, you can see the dark sky. You got the flatter base with it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to try and zoom it in on you real quick if you're okay with that. But yeah,
it's developing rapidly.
Yeah, you can definitely. Yeah, look at how you got that towering. See how quickly that is growing upscale. Is that tracking towards you or away from you?
I can't really tell.
Yeah, the way things are looking there, following that on radar here, you can definitely.
It almost looks as if part of it's striating a little bit. The updraft.
Yeah, I mean, just within one radar scan, you got really intense changes in reflectivity, and now I think that's a sign that you got a really strong updraft trying to form with it. And I'm gonna get some.
Look at that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna look at the VIL.
Tornado warning for parts of central Clark County and central Oklahoma, south central.
That would be. We got that complex of storms there in Oklahoma. Yeah, we'll keep a very close eye on things there.
Tornado warning getting ready to be issued for my county.
All right.
Okay.
Tornado warning getting ready to be issued.
Yep, tornado warning for parts of Mississippi now down here. This storm, I've been really watching for the last couple hours. Make sure I don't see any debris yet. Well, and it'd be cool if you showed the camera of a tornado tonight. I'd be really happy to see it.
You see that one that has a really elongated hook on it? The rotation's getting tighter with it.
What, the sky or the radar?
The radar.
Yeah, I'm pulling a little bit, and yeah, this storm is capable of just in some very large hail. So definitely, if anybody's in that area, need to be shaking some shelter. Live in Mississippi, these storms are going to be fast moving right in.
That's the storm I'm looking at with that rotation.
Yeah, can you show it to me?
But
yeah, I was going to say, in relation to where he's located, this Lee, Pontotoc, and Union County, this would be in northern parts of Mississippi. That cell has been holding together for some time. Or there's been tornado warnings up there for a while, but so like the Jackson area, we're dealing with more of that outflow boundary, and I'm still looking at the VIL, the VILs on it. I mean, we definitely got a little bit of an updraft there forming near Raymond. That I think that would be the cell that we're looking at here, making its way towards parts of the Jackson area. But I'm more worried about the cells east and north of there now. And there's another messy complex of storms that left at least half dollar-sized hail. Let's see what other reports we're getting out of that area. We have another hail core there near Weir and towards Ackerman, too.
I hear some loud thunder. You hear that thunder?
Yeah, it's definitely getting pretty
Thunder?
pretty intense there.
Hearing that thunder?
Isaac, anything different?
Here, I'll show you what I got. I'm going to go back to my full screen there.
Tornado warning has expired over here, so, and this storm is still producing some
You're talking about that particular cell.
very
This
large hail.
complex,
Was still very large hail. Yeah, look at this.
yeah, you got multiple different storm complexes here from Louisiana into Mississippi here. Just looking at the broader picture, and I mean, we got this one starting to bow out. It looks like. I wonder if it's merged together. You got some breaks in there, but I mean, you got multiple different. Like, looks like this particular complex is going to merge with this further north, and then you got this training complex of thunderstorms. And again, when we mean complex, you got different systems within there, or like smaller systems that work into a bigger system. And again, you got this particular Boeing cluster there. That's likely producing some messy wind and hail with it. But we're also worried about the cells that are developing out here, and also this complex of storms in Oklahoma as well. And you can see this is our more concerning cluster of storms there from eastern Oklahoma up towards Tulsa, down towards looks like the Ada area of Oklahoma. And also this one cell there that would be approaching the. Wonder if that would be closer to Medill.
Yeah, I don't know, Isaac.
West of Medill, yeah.
Me and we're talking about how much cake we have today. This has been the biggest severe weather we tracked, right, Ian?
Maybe not the biggest.
Yeah.
But you said there was a lot of cake, didn't you?
Yeah, and I'm a little worried about this cell down here that is tracking into Pontotoc County in Oklahoma. I'm going to keep close eye on it. You got a really intense hail core with that one, and probably you got some quite a bit of, I think you might be getting a little bit of rotation there north on the north end of that one. I think the southern flank, you're mostly talking about a damaging wind threat. I think you got a really intense hail core there that'll probably be approaching closer to Ada there fairly soon. I'm gonna kind of put this in motion, see how this has been behaving over the past while or so. You can see that hail core is probably going to be tracking into Ada proper, and if it continues on its current track, it would probably take it, into Cole County, Colgate, Stonewall, some of the vicinities probably that may end up with warnings here very soon as well. But also the northern areas further north there towards, towards Stroud, Bristow Creek, Sapula, Tulsa. This cluster is producing like widespread severe weather now. In the northern flank, you got that tornado warning also down towards, obviously, Okfuskee, obviously well down towards Ada. So like that's where you're getting that line of storms, the way things are looking right now. But again, this complex of storms, overall, I was going to say that would be, it's moving into the environment there. You got that moderate risk. It's going to start to bow out. And this is the main complex of storms that we're worried about, well into Arkansas, East Texas, into sections. They have that moderate risk kind of, I was going to say that would be what, a different time period? Because, I see, they had the initial moderate risk out here, and then they expanded out towards here. If I'm not mistaken, hopefully it's I was going to say that complex is moving into that environment where it's really going to grow upscale. You got those stronger updrafts, and it really blows out the more intense low level shear, for areas a little bit further east there. So we'll see how those storms do behave. And we're definitely keeping a very
How's it
close
look,
eye on this.
Isaac?
Yeah.
How does it look?
Yeah, I was going to say that area of storms in Mississippi there, you got a really nasty cluster of storms that will, fed by that gust front that you got that will likely merge with this cluster of storms there. It'll probably be pretty intense.
Okay. So far we got 1.25 inches of hail. Heaven shows up with larger than quarter size.
Mm-hmm.
Two-inch hail vicinities. Has Ian seen anything else?
Here.
How things looking now?
I mean, with that particular cell in or cluster tracking through, I was going to say, social media report of hail larger than quarters, probably estimated near $half size. That looks like we got a little bit of a hail core tracking into the Ackerman area. We'll see how that goes. But I think in relation to where Ian is, I was going to say this cluster, this or these two cells there. I mean, looks like they were fed by that gust front. There's not as much lift, with these particular cells. So while they could still produce some hail, this one probably upwards of $half size. This cell up here producing up to tennis ball sized hail. I mean, this is where you got more forcing for these updrafts, but also this complex of storms out here. I mean, nothing severe warned out here in Mississippi, or nothing tornado warned, I should say. Still plenty of severe warnings to deal with. This cell here, I wonder if it, I was going to say dropped for Creek County. I wonder if there's anything confirmed here on the dual pol with it.
What is the dual-pol?
Oh, it's its correlation coefficient there, what you use for.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm going to try and download some of the data.
What happened
Oh,
to
nothing. I'm just.
Ian?
Oh, he's probably the cell service might have dropped in some of those areas. Not really sure.
Okay. Are you working with us late tonight? Or what are you doing?
I'll do my best. I'll probably throw some guidance and mesoscale trend information. See
I'll
what.
work a little late tonight. I'm working a little bit late tonight.
Yeah, but we'll do our best to cover some of the mesoscale trends and broader regional scale information there. So we head into the overnight hours. I'll probably need to focus quite a bit on sleep, but we'll see how these storms do behave. I'll throw out some mesoscale trends and do my best to coordinate with live feeds and other information.
I want to help
there.
out tonight too. I'm gonna probably work till 11 to 11:30 tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to see how things
All right, we
do
just got a
behave.
report of 2.5 inches of hail.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Storm down here in. All right, we just got with this storm text, Isaac. We got hazardous tennis ball size hail and 60 miles of wind gust. So now, this storm down here in Tennessee is capable of producing up to tennis ball size hail. And this probably could have a tornado with it when we get this large of a storm, right, Isaac?
Possibly. I mean, definitely. I think this is mostly concerned about the updraft and the lift that we've been seeing with it. The velocity, the wind shear is not as impressive with this one, and it's out of range here from the Jackson radar. So I'm going to try and get a better glimpse of this cell here. Oh, you get better smoothing data on this one. Oh, that would be McNairy County. This cell is what we're more concerned about.
Becoming more concerned. Flash flood warning.
Yeah, so you got multiple different cells here that you got this much steeper lapse rates up in here.
Any report?
I'm going to check the Twitter feeds again, see if there's any updated information coming in. All right. We're going to pass it over to you for a little bit. If we get any additional developments here in terms of the mesoscale features. Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Oh, well, I'm going to monitor, see what some of the other mesoscale trends are, and I'm going to probably catch up with family here.
Are you staying on, or get off?
I'll try and issue some updated guidance here in terms of the feed committee and things like that as we get there. But feel free to stay on as long as need be with the feeds and everything. We'll keep that updated.
I might put it on mute, son. Okay, Isaac's going to get things caught up here. I just got an update from the SPC Storm Prediction Center finally updated their outlook. And let me just check that real quick. This button here. And we'll go to that. Checking the SPC outlook. I just got something came across the screen here. So let me try to share this. All right, and I'm gonna take a look here because I haven't looked at it yet. All right, our tornado threat. Maybe this hasn't even been updated yet. Let me take a look if they even have yet, because sometimes I just like to. All right, just checking things here. See if we have any new updates on the computers that are coming in. So, folks, what we're going to do is, I know we have nothing going on right now. Continue to moderate things. We're going to take a small break so I can get up and do a couple things. We're going to leave the live stream on, just like normally. The tornado warning has got canceled, so I'm going to leave this up just to let things animate and keep things going. If we do see any new warnings, we'll break in to let you know. For right now, I'm going to take a quick break, and my screen is probably going to disappear for a little while. We will continue to keep you updated. All right, good evening, everybody. Vice Forecaster JD Rat with you again, back in the USA Severe Weather Network Center. We just have a new tornado warning has just been issued. This is for parts of Mississippi, north central Rockington County, and central Mississippi, western Scott County, and central Mississippi to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. At 8:34, a severe thunderstorm. A severe thunderstorm was a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Pleasanton, or 10 miles southwest of Morton, Minnesota, 25 miles an hour. What to expect? Tornado and quarter-size hail. So this is a radar indicated. In our model here, our little really decent couplet there. So I mean, this doesn't mean we have a confirmed report of a tornado on the ground. This is just a radar indicated tornado. I do think the damage and wind threat is going to be the biggest concern. We have one report of a 1.5 inches of hail with this. So definitely there is a lot of hail with these storms. I'm not trying to alarm nobody, but this storm is still capable. So you could be dealing with fast moving storms. So this will be still pickpocketing at 25 miles an hour. It's a little slower and the ones we could be dealing with later. Some gusty winds is possible. So definitely there's some storms we're going to have to watch. More flooding. It's like 8 inches, 2.5 inches of 2.5 inches of hail. So these storms are coming a little more of a hail threat. But there is a tornado warning runs down here, and this runs in effect around 9:30. So what's in the next scan? It just continues to keep this storm pretty quickly. So it's just something we want to have to watch with that storm as it continues.
Saying the winds were so bad, damage for a lot of people, especially overnight. Certainly
Alright, folks, we have a tornado that's on the ground right now, so let's go right to Storm Commander. This just came in a minute ago. At 8:47, a confirmed tornado was located near Pleasanton, or 8 miles west of Morton, moving north at tornado and quarter-size hail, folks. So this is a tornado that's on the ground now. This is a dangerous. Flying debris will be dangerous if you caught out shelter. So this is a tornado that's on the ground right now, folks. So if you're in Blanche area, or you in Floyd area, folks, so you definitely need to be shaking shelter. So what we want to do, and there's a little something there trying to form. So if you are in this polygon, you need to be taking shelter immediately, folks. Get low, get centered, and get covered. This is a tornado is on the ground. Doing some. This is when a tornado emergency. A tornado is on the ground now. This is dark. You're not going to see the tornado coming, so this is the time you definitely need to get centered and get centered and get covered right now. You're under a tornado warning. It goes in effect through about 9:30. All right. So we have a tornado, a confirmed report of a confirmed tornado right over here. So definitely, if you're in the warning, now's the time to get centered and get covered now. Go to the basement if you have one. Put a football helmet, a baseball helmet on you. Put a mattress between you, and protect yourself from flying debris. This is a tornado, folks, is on the ground. So you got to take these storms very seriously tonight. And just checking, storms are continuing to pop in, and this is why we're probably going to have to stay with you right now on this one morning. It's in effect at 9:30, and any of these storms get the type of energy you get could cause a tornado. New circulation trying to get formed a little bit, and there's this one right over here, a Tennant area and Richmond area. This storm here is still capable of producing 60 miles of wind, but it has a little inflow notch, and once you get that, that's where you get some very strong, the potentially of rotation sometimes, but a really large hail with these. So if you just join this, tornado warning continues into around 9:30 this evening. No confirmed report of one on the. We have one on the ground, but I have not heard any damage yet. So that's some good news. So if you're in Blanche, Floydville, Landville area, this storm is what could cause the potentially of a spin-up tornado. No hail, but look at the rainfall. Folks, we're starting to see into 2.5 inches of rain, and we're going to start getting into the white colors over 3 inches. So we could be dealing with some flash flooding is what's going to happen eventually. Is the water will not have nowhere to go. So please pay attention. And all right, now I just got into the text at 8:47. Weather spotters have confirmed a tornado. So once weather spotters have confirmed one, that's never good. And trying to look through here, definitely need to be shaking some shelter now, is because we have a tornado. Checking out here, we got this line of thunderstorms continuing tonight, and we can see more storms. The worst hasn't even developed yet. The worst case I've been seeing is that we had a few storms producing up to 3-inch hail. That's enough to bust windows out. And I do think the biggest storms will come in later this evening, and that's going to be coming in with that big wind maker coming in probably later this evening. And this is what me and Jonathan and Ian and the whole team been talking about the last couple days. This whole system has been really strong, and that's why we're continuing to watch stuff. So if you're just joining this, tornado warning continues about 9:30. It's a radar indicator tornado. It's a damaging tornado. It's not an emergency tornado. This has been a damaging one. We definitely got the red next to green, and that is some very tight sheared. It's wrapped around the wind. That's when you get all that very strong winds are coming in, and that's why we're having stronger storms tonight. It's because of that. So right now, we've been on for several hours. I was just taking a quick break and eating and
observed 5 storm spotters.
Hold on a second.
The tornado is on the ground north of Apache.
There we go. And it just highlighted, the box just highlighted on the screen. We're using some new technology. This tornado is right up on you. Also, the report that came out of Pelahatchie just a little while ago, this is about 2 miles northwest of Pelahatchie, indicated ping pong ball size hail. Ping pong ball size hail right there. That's, we believe, quarter to half inch diameter hail. There's just been a ton of hail being reported. But I want to focus on what's going on right now in North Jackson. We're seeing some heavy rain right heavy rain. Road was the wind. The road because the wind. The road because the wind was just.
Yeah, that was it.
Hoping so. We hope it doesn't make it stronger, but it could disrupt it a little bit. That's Rehoboth. So we hope it. A little social distance at time. Here, take a look out. Navigate back.
all right. Just got a thunderstorm watch for Arkansas until 2 o'clock in the morning. So more storms are forming. Right now, we're continuing to watch this severe thunderstorm tornado wind that goes in effect at 9:30. It's potentially the damaging tornado right now. So, folks, if you're in the path of this, now's the time to put your tornado plan in action. Is head to the basement, get set and get covered best you can, is because this storm is very tight. Anytime you get that ending up, it's a tornado, but it's on the ground right now, folks. You've got to take the storm very seriously. I know we've been through this a dozen times this year, but I know we've been going through this once again, but we gotta take this storm very seriously because we have a tornado is on the ground right now, folks, and we gotta take this storm very seriously tonight. So if you're just joining me, it's about 9 p.m. Tornado warning continuing, and that goes in effect through 9:30. New storms are getting going. We've been having several reports coming in tonight. New circulation over here. This one is in effect around 9:30 for Irish and parts of Ware County. this storm is capable of producing some very strong to damage and straight line winds. And just checking, up to 30 to 40 centimeter storms are going to produce a lot of winds today. And this one, no confirmed one yet. We have a confirmed one, but this one still has not have any damage yet. So that's some good news. Maybe it's in rural areas where you're not going to see it. And I'm just checking because this storm will be in rural areas. We're really not going to stay with this, but it was this is in Mississippi, so we definitely got to take these storms very seriously. But just a second, I got to check something on my phone. Just checking my phone to see if we got any new. Alright, still got that tornado that's on the ground right now. That's still confirmed by weather spotters. So definitely we still got storms to worry about. And it still goes in effect at 9:30. So I'm going to continue to watch that. So just hold on just a second.